Exactly. Right. So, taking a nice deep breath, I just want you to roll your head down and soften the spine. And inhale and come up and drop your head back. So I want you to lengthen through the front of your neck. And drop the head forward, inhale, roll down the spine. And exhale, release up. And inhale and roll down. And inhale. Come up. From there, taking your arms, I want you to circle them up, around. Stop here. When you are here, squeeze back between your shoulder blades and try and lengthen through your chest. And release from there, hold the knees, drop the head and pull back against your knees to get opening out between the shoulder blades. Slide your slide your shoulders away from your ears. And release back to center. Going to do that again. So inhale, circling it up. Nice big round circle. Stop at 90 degrees. Squeeze back between the shoulder blades. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Release down, hands onto the knees, pull back. And release, last one, deep breath in. If you can this time, place the edges of your hands and your elbows together and try and slide them up as high as possible before releasing around. So you've got to try and maintain contact between your elbows as high as possible. Squeeze back between the shoulder blades. Nice long, relaxed front of the neck. And release, taking those shoulders and just circling them back. Okay, from there, just opening up the spine slightly, taking your hand, placing it down on the ground, taking the other arm up and over. Let your heads go. And almost try and feel that your bum is being pulled down onto the ground and that your fingertips are being pulled in the opposite direction. So you're actively generating a stretch along that side. And release, cross to the other side. So drive down through the bum, drive long through the hands. Nice active stretch. Generate tension in the side of the body. With every consecutive breath, try and get more length into your side. and release down. Okay, from there we're going to go up onto our knees and hands. I can't see where I am. I think I'm in view. Okay, nice straight spine for me. What we are going to do is we are going to rise up into a straight arm plank position, and from there you're going to rock forward and back. So rock forward all the way up onto your tippy toes and rock back, getting your heels down as far as you can. So we're opening up those calves and we're releasing through the ankles. And release, drop the knees to the ground. Okay, from there we are going to pop up into downward dog. So flick under your toes, and I want you to rise up into downward dog. Okay, so when you're going into downward dog, the point is to try and keep your back straight and try and drive your chest towards your thigh. That requires you to bend your knees to get the opening up of that lower back. That's okay. So you straighten your knees according to your limit that your lower back dictates. Even if your knees are bent though, drop your heels down to get a nice long stretch to the back of those calves. Things that get nice and tight when we're sitting for a long period of time, when we run. If you want, you can walk out the feet, step them down, and you can even add a rotational twist into your hips. So you're basically getting a little bit of opening up through the lateral bands of the thighs and the hips. From there, you are going to shift your weight forward and drop your hips down to the ground. If you can, keep your hips suspended above the ground. That is if you have no lower back issues. Connect your belly button so that you're not forcing pressure into the lower back, but rather forcing a nice long stretch through your abs. If you cannot do this, drop your feet to the ground. And if you still cannot do this because of lower back issues, you can just rise up into a cobra position, which means we're taking a little bit of pressure out of the lower back position. So when we're here, I really want you to focus on gaining length from your feet to the tip of your head. So it's not about hitting your lower back, but it's rather about stretching the entire front connection. So hip flexors, abs, and release, knees down, push back over the legs. Okay, rising back up into a tabletop position. From here, we are going to take our right legs. We are going to straighten them and lengthen them out and lift your right hand. So you're standing on your left arm and your left knee. Okay? Taking your right arm up. If this is all you can manage, that's fine. That's the space you're in. If you have more space, extend your right leg back, extend your right arm over and continue into a back bend. And release your neck. And release down. Switch to the other side. So once again, you're on your right knee, right hand's down, left leg is straight, left arm is lifted up to the ceiling. If that's all you can manage into that rotation, that's fine. If you've got more space, extend the left leg back. Placing your weight onto that left leg, extend your arm over into a half back bend. Release the neck and make sure that you have low shoulders, so take them away from your ears and create tension in the shoulders so that your chest is elevated out rather than sunken into your shoulders. If at any point you find this uncomfortable, come out of the position and just go into prayer pose. Going into back bends can be a little bit uncomfortable. Please back to 4-point kneeling. From there, hop up onto your feet. I want you to half lower down, so lowering down just so that you have a 90-degree angle at your elbows. Nice long chest. Release down and push into upward dog. When you're in upward dog, try and slide your shoulders away from your ears and try and lengthen through your chest and through the back of your neck. Pop your bum back up and you go onto your elbows. So your elbows are essentially in plank position, meaning that your hands are in line with your elbows, in line with your shoulder. So your position's there and not rotated in. I want that because it allows for opening up of the shoulders. From there, you're going to straighten your legs and walk them closer to your arms, almost like you're going into a downward dog position, but it's called the dolphin. So you're walking yourself closer, almost trying to stack your hips above your head, but your head is not on the ground. And once again, trying to push your chest back towards your thighs. So you might feel a little bit of tightness to the shoulders. You might find that there's a little bit of tightness to your hamstrings, your lower back. Get active in your shoulders, so push out from your shoulders so that you're not sinking towards the ground. And release knees to the ground. Just to reverse that, interlink your hands behind your back. This time we are going to go into a head inversion. So place the crown of your head on the ground and release your arms over. If you have any neck problems, merely just rest your head on the ground and release your arms over. So no neck problems, lift your hips up so that you've got your support on your neck. If you've got neck problems, put your hips down in prayer pose to take the weight off of your neck. Okay, and release out of that. Okay, now we're going to have some fun. So, placing our hands down on the ground, we're going to go back up into a downward dog position. But then we're going to go into a transition into, once again, a half back bend, but a standing version. You go to your limit. So I am taking you into an extension position today. If you do have lower backs, I don't know how you do it, but unmute yourself and tell me. Otherwise, let's move through, work towards your comfort. It's about finding space within your own spine to work into extension against the posture of a seated daily living, okay? So from there, arms straight, feet into the ground, rise up into downward dog. We're going to start with the right leg. We are going to lift it up at the back into a three-legged dog. Do not rotate out your hips, so keep your hips square. So we're actively using the glutes to drive the heels up into the air. From there, bend your top leg. If all you have is to release and create a twist, that's fine. If you've got lower back issues, stop here. If you have more space, drop down onto that back leg and push through into a back bend or half back bend. Driving power through the shoulder so that you're pushed away from the ground. Release your necks. And release slowly, coming out of that into the three-legged dog again. From there, pick your leg up and place it between your hands in a low lunge. Okay, staying there, I want you to rock back and forth, just finding your space in this position. Drop the left knee down to the ground. Lift the upper body up. Okay, so knees stacked above ankle. We've got a nice connected lower back. We can feel the front thigh working a little bit to carry weight to the body. Okay, from there, taking your left hand and rotate it up and across over the right knee. Taking the right arm, opening it back. Okay, in this, if you have the space, or you can utilize a band or towel, you collect the back leg and you're pulling it towards. So if you don't have a band and you've got the space with your hands, you're holding the back leg, which is now bent. Try and make sure that in this position you're not rounded and with your bum popping up. So it's about actually allowing your body to release into it, not arching the lower back, so connecting through the rib cage, connecting the lower backs, and opening into a nice twist. Try and present your chest out and open your shoulders away from your ears. Slowly release and untwist. Rise back into the lunge position. From there, taking your arms up. Push the back leg and keeping the bend in the front leg, you're going to go into what we call peaceful warrior. So circle your arms back. So your left leg is at the back, your feet are rotated out, your left arm rotates back and is put onto the back of the thigh. And you're going to release your upper arm into a slight back bend again. From there, release over, straighten the front leg, arms lengthening fingertips to fingertips. I want you to merely shift your weight forward and place your hand onto the front ankle. Try and look up towards the left hand at the top and Open your chest to the ceiling. Release back, bend the front knee, hand back onto the back thigh again into Peaceful Warrior. And release. From there, rotating back down onto the ground. Take your back leg and push it back to go into straight arm plank. Knees down, push back over the legs. So we've gone into a bit of a back bend. Now we allowing a little bit of space for your lower back to relax and ease out. And feel the space that we've just created through the movement we've allowed. So a little bit of the focus I wanted today was to incorporate twisting and non-linear movement. So I find very often in our lives we do everything in a forward and back plane and very little in an open sideways plane. So we're going on to the other side. Pop under your feet, up into downward dog. You should be finding that by repeated movements into downward dog, you should be finding more space in your hamstrings. Right, from there, taking the weight onto the right foot, driving the left leg up into the air for three-legged dog. Don't rotate your pelvis yet. So it's about activating through the glutes, driving that leg into the air. From there, bend that top leg and rotate through the pelvis. That is step one. If you have more space, continue the twist and fall out and go into a small back bend. You're really pushing down through that right shoulder, presenting the chest into the air and relaxing the neck. Slowly releasing out of there, twisting back into your three-legged dog. Try and get that left hip down towards the ground as you pick the leg up. And transition through, picking that leg up forward, placing it between your hands. So we're in a low lunge. Low because our chests are down. And we're riding ourselves back and forward through the back ankles, just creating some space and allowing our right hip flexor to become aware and prepared for the stretch it's about to have. So be patient with your body. This is not supposed to be excruciatingly painful. You're supposed to work within the space that you have. Okay, dropping the right knee down. And lifting the chest up. So it's in a high lunge now. Trying to feel that you're pushing through the right hip towards the ground. Taking your right hand over the left knee. Taking the left arm, rotating it out and open into a twist in that position. If, like me, you feel like your knee is about to break, you're welcome to put something else down. I have one good knee and one bad knee. So we're in a rotation. Once again, in the space, if you have, pick up the back leg. And with every consecutive breath, try and increase the twist. So grow a little bit taller, present your chest a little bit more, slide your shoulders away, and increase the space you have through that twist. Okay, release. From there, picking yourself back up into the low lunge, taking the weight through into a high lunge, rotating out the back leg, so we're still opening the arms, so we transition through warrior two, placing your hands onto the back leg, and release over into peaceful warrior. So here you should be feeling hip opening into the back leg. You should be feeling opening into the top side. If you can, release your necks. Release over. Arms lengthening from side to side, straightening the front leg. Release down. Left hand onto left ankle. Right arm up into the air, looking ahead towards the right hand, looking beyond the fingertips and really trying to open your chest up to the air, to the ceiling. Transitioning back out, bend that front knee, hand onto the back leg, so right hand onto right leg, left arm, release over into peaceful warrior. This also works a little bit on balance, releasing through into the low lunge again. Taking your front leg back into downward dog. From here, either walk your feet, or if you can, you've got the space, bend your knees and jump glide to the front of your mat. Into a forward fold. Am I still in the screen? Here, just rotate from side to side. Hands down either on the ground or onto your shins and do a half lift. So we're straightening those backs out and lengthening through the back of the legs. Okay, from here, release down again. Once again, working according to your comfort, we are going to do a standing split. Basically, it's just a standing version of a three-legged dog. So taking your left leg, bending it into the air. If that's all you've got space for with a bent leg, that's fine. If you've got space to straighten your leg, that's fine. And if you've got space to try and get your head closer to the knee, great. So if yours looks like this, that's fine. If yours looks better, that's fine. If yours looks amazing, good job.
Worse.
And release the leg down to the ground. But when you release down, place it behind the opposite leg. So we are now in a twisted position. There we go. And release down to the ground. So you should feel a little bit more opening up into the side of your thighs in this position. And release. So untwist your feet, hands still down on the ground. We're going to transition into standing splits on the other side. So bending that leg, taking it up into the air. If that's all the range you have, that's fine. If you have more, straighten it up. If you have more, try and get your head closer to the knee. Slowly untwist, release it down, taking that leg, placing it behind and across into a twist, and just relax down. Passive stretch, just allowing the side of your hips to open up. And release. Step back, and the other step back into a plank position. Working through your right leg, you're going to connect it up towards the chest, rotate it out, and place it down on the ground into pigeon. Okay. From there, if your right leg is in front, you're trying to drive the left hip down towards the ground, and you're trying to almost pull the right hip back so that you square off your hips. From there, placing your left hand down. If you have the space, once again, go into a rotation. If you don't, just stay neutral. And release. So a small twist incorporated there. If you can, place your hands down on the ground. If you have more space, straighten your arms forward. And release. Come back up. Slowly untwist yourself, taking your weight off. Push your legs into the air, into downward dog. Taking the left leg, connecting it towards your chest, so incorporating a little bit of abs, and rotate it open into pigeon on the opposite side. Okay, if you're finding pressure in your knees, make the angle of the front bend a little bit smaller and bring the knee more underneath the body. If you have a little bit more range, take the knee further out and open up the angle of the knee. Okay, so if we have space here, right hand down, rotating across. And release down. Pushing your right hip towards the ground, pulling the left hip back, really opening into the left side. Get your chest down to the ground. If you've got more space, walk your hands out. This is supposed to be passive and relaxing, not killing you. If it's killing you, take a step back and take a slightly easier version. And release. Pick yourself up. From there, Just rotating onto your bums. Do the sitting facing you so that you can sort of see what I'm doing. Actually, no, I'm not going to. So, you're sitting with your legs straightened in front of you. Okay. So, a little bit of a shoulder opener, a little bit of a lower back opener. You're going to bend the right knee. From there, you're going to grow tall through your spine. And you're going to take your right arm and you're going to slide it on the inside of the right knee. You're then going to take your hand around the back of the knee. And you're going to take your left arm around and you're going to interlink at the back. Okay, if you don't have that space, the point is just here, we're trying to cause rotation through the shoulder. If you've got shoulder injuries, be kind to yourself and don't go into a complete rotation. If you've got the space, try and lengthen through your chest and work towards the thigh. Pull back the shoulder. So you're almost trying to pull the shoulder back and try and get the chest down. And release that out. Swap to the other side. So left leg bends, left arm comes up and over. On the inside of the left thigh, you rotate your palms towards the ground and then towards the outside, and you take your hand around. Your opposite arm, your right arm, loops at the back and you interlock your hands behind. From there, if you've got more space, grow through your chest and release over the leg, pulling your left shoulder back into your leg and chest down towards the thigh. And release. Okay, for our finisher, for those of you that would like, we are going to progress into a full back bend. And then we're going to finish with an inversion, okay? For those of you that do not feel you are confident and comfortable enough to go into a back bend, you're going to be doing a lying version of a back bend. So I'm first going to show you the easier version and then we're going to progress into the full back bend. You can do both if you wish to. So if you do have lower back issues, you're going to be lying on your tummy, holding your ankles, and you're going to generate resistance between your legs and your arms. So you're going to push yours out and pull your arms. If that's your range, that's where you stop. If you've got more, you lift the thigh off the ground and you lift your chest off the ground and you hold it. Your opposite to that is to push back into prayer pose. So you're going to hold your back bend as long as you are comfortable, and you're going to then transition into a prayer pose for the same, if not longer, amount of time. However, if you have the space and you would like to, we're going to go into a back bend. So it's really great for shoulder strength. So lying on your backs, taking your hands over, deep breath in, slowly loading through the shoulders and pushing yourself up into the air. Relaxing your head. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see what it is. When you feel you've had enough of this pose, slowly release down to the ground. And just hug your knees to your chest. And if you want, edge from side to side. If you want, you can roll up and down like a little ball. So we're giving thanks to the fact that our spines have given us the ability to move. And the strength. Be grateful for the space you have in your body. And just have the intention of creating more. You don't have to be as flexible as the person next to you or across the screen from you. It's your body and it's your space. From there, if you want to, everybody lying on your backs. Hugging one knee up into the chest, releasing the other leg down towards the ground. From there, you can choose to pull that knee across to the opposite shoulder, or you can take your hand onto the outside of the knee and go into a full release through the spine. So once again, incorporating a little bit of a twisting motion. This time we're doing it without gravity on our spine and allowing gravity to merely assist the rotation. Try and keep the opposite shoulder down on the ground and keep a nice open, easy neckline. And release, untwist. Swap to the other side. Rotate across the spine if you want to. And release. Coming up to a seated position if you wish. You can stay lying on your backs if you wish. I basically just want you to be in the most comfortable position for you. And I just want you to take 3 to 5 nice deep breaths using your belly button. So as we inhale, I want you to expand your belly button as much as possible and try and inhale through your nose, without engaging the shoulders. As you exhale, open your mouth and let the air out. And inhale, big belly button. And exhale. And inhale. And inhale. Right. Well done, everybody. Thank you. I hope you guys are feeling flexy and stretchy and reoxygenated and full of energy to attack your day.